So she was watching, and I'm like, turn this fucking crap off.
Yeah, turn it off.
So then we went home. I was playing some video games, went to bed, got up in the morning, got ready for work. So on my way to work, was listening to some, I don't know what the name of their talk show is on Razor.
Oh, Free Beer and Hot Wings.
Free Beer and Hot Wings, and they're like, oh, and Trump's the president-elect, and I'm like, shh, oh, they're fucking.
Yeah, they're fucking with you.
So as soon as I got pulled into work, I'm like, I gotta fucking find out who's president. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Right.
How did that happen? So
my
first thought is that somebody did hack the election stuff, because I have a hard time believing that Johnson didn't get his 10% he needed so that his party could get on.
He only needed 5 and he didn't get that.
5.
Yeah. Well, get that. Right. Because a lot of people I know freaking voted for him.
He got 4% in a lot of states. He got close, but overall he's at like 3.5, 3.
So those numbers didn't come out.
8 and a couple, and he won one county.
Yeah, apparently won a county.
Can you pull up a video of Trump's acceptance speech?
No.
Sure.
There's only one part of it that I mentioned, and I haven't seen it on the news since, that I want to talk about.
It's going to be a beautiful thing. Every single American will have the opportunity to realize his or her fullest potential. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer.
What the fuck?
Man. Okay, so just to point out, he did not promise prosperity.
No, he promised the American dream.
No.
Right.
Well, he promised that you can live up to your potential.
Yes.
Fullest potential.
To your fullest potential. That you have the opportunity to live up to your fullest potential. I'm not saying that to criticize the man. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that, right and rightly so, still involves you doing shit.
Yes.
All he's saying there is, we're going to get government out of your way so that you can live up to your potential. If your potential happens to still be a dumbass shitbag, then that's what you're going to live up to. If your potential is to be a famous businessman or a movie star, and the government was stopping you, then you'll become a famous businessman or a movie star. A lot of the people cheered, and I don't really think that they understand
what he was saying.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think what he's saying. I don't think what he's saying is bad. I think that people should have the opportunity to live up to their potential.
Yeah.
I just
got you.
That's what you wanted us to see?
No.
There's more?
Bro, there's like 12 minutes more.
Come on, seriously?
We are going to... They're tough, and they're smart, and they're sharp, and I don't want to mess around with them, I can tell you. And when I want to go and wait...
Yeah, but as fast as this is, you can understand every single thing he's saying.
Well, it's because he speaks very slow and very simply, so idiots can understand him, which makes sense.
Spectacular people. Sometimes underappreciated, unfortunately, but we appreciate them. You know where they go.
No shit. Well, yes, exactly. People.
But it'd be really historic. We have to do a great job. And I promise you that I will not let you down. We will do a great job. We will do a great job. I look very much forward to being your president. And hopefully at the end of 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or maybe even 8 years.
Okay, rewind and play that in regular speed.
Okay.
Because that's what I was waiting for.
And hopefully at the end of 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, let you down. We will do a great job. We will do a great job.
What?
I look very much forward to being your president. And hopefully at the end of 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or maybe even 8 years, you will say, so many of you work so hard for us, but you will say that
So you're saying he thinks he's going to get impeaced?
I'm wondering if he's planning on quitting.
No, he's saying that after 2 years, people will.
I know.
And I can only say...
But it's just when he first did that, he's like, after 2 or 3 or 4, and all I was like, not a Mike Pence presidency.
It's like, does he know he's president for 4 years?
I will volunteer for the Secret Service. I will stand in front of the American and take bullets in my fat ass.
And we're going to be doing a job that hopefully you will be so
So that's why we pulled another Joe Biden tactic. We do not want Joe Biden, so we're keeping him out.
Right.
We do not want Pence.
You don't have him yet.
No, not yet.
He doesn't even have the electorate vote yet.
Nope.
Right,
The electorate,
not until-
the college doesn't vote for another 2 weeks.
Yep.
Second
It's 2 or
Monday
3?
in December, I think.
Oh, so
It's in December
Yeah.
that they actually
Oh,
vote.
like a month then.
and then after they
'Cause it's-
vote,
'cause
the
it's like the-
Supreme a week after that, the Supreme
They have to,
Court
like,
ratifies
verify it.
that the election was legal.
Yep, we'll see.
So-
There's still plenty of time.
And the Supreme Court is split even because they didn't appoint anybody.
Well, I mean,
Wouldn't that just be a kick in the ass? It doesn't get ratified because the Supreme Court is split 4-4 because they
God.
didn't put anybody in.
That would be a thing.
That would be hilarious and tragic at the same time.
yeah. So
Do they also have to ratify the vote for Congress and the House too? Is that all a package deal for all the people?
I think that'd be state specific.
I would assume so. Well, because then I'm just saying they
Right,
could
because
fucking
the-
put
right.
someone in because they just okay.
the only federally elected official was the president
Yeah.
and vice president. But so here's the thing, because we were talking about this last night. So before we knew who it was, so if Hillary or he would have been elected, but assassinated
Okay,
before,
they take office.
well, before the college votes, you have to have a new
Well, yeah, 'cause it's
election.
not the same. Yeah,
You have to have
You
a
have the
whole new election.
Yep.
Well, in theory, they could, because the other thing that people forget about is not all delegates are bound, and you can have faithless delegates. There's
Yep.
only a certain number of states that make it illegal to
Right.
switch your vote.
Oh, I know. This isn't over yet.
And in
Exactly.
theory, and I know this is pushing it, so understand I'm only theorizing here. This has never
Everybody.
been tried. Even the states that have laws against faithless delegates, once you leave the state to go to Washington to vote, you are no longer under the jurisdiction of your state law. You're not. Just because you're a Wisconsin resident, if you go
Oh,
to
okay.
Colorado, you're no longer subject to Wisconsin law while you're in the Colorado jurisdiction.
Okay.
So in theory, even legally bound delegates could switch their vote.
No, they can't.
Well, they could.
No, because their vote is not ratified, but the state decides how their vote is cast. And if they're bound by popular vote or whatever it is that state says, they have to vote that way. Their
Or-
vote can't be changed.
Or
It's illegal on their part.
how? Because the state doesn't have jurisdiction when they're not in the state.
The vote doesn't count. The vote counts from the state. It's not theirs.
No. The vote is the electorate. It's
Yeah.
the electors, which we voted for Wisconsin, for example. The Republican Party gets to select our 10 electors. The electors get to vote. Now, Wisconsin has a law that says they have to vote with what their vote is bound to the popular.
Right.
Wisconsin has that law. And I agree with you that that's a Wisconsin law and that they will be breaking Wisconsin law.
Yeah, see, that
I'm
ma-
only saying they're not in Wisconsin when they
I
actually
don't think
vote.
that matters, though.
Yeah,
but-
see, Maine is they can split their votes.
Right, Maine splits their votes.
Which I just
So does
I thought
Nebraska.
that was interesting. Yeah, I never knew they did that before.
I'm assuming that's why when
But-
I saw the map at the end of the night, Maine was split red blue.
But
Yep.
if it would happen after the Supreme Court ratifies the,
well, then
or
then it's chain of command. Then vice
Then
president
it's
goes
Pence.
up. Yeah.
or would have been
Whatever the next one is. Or
no,
whoever.
well, or Hillary's.
Then it would be Pence,
Oh, yeah.
Ryan.
Ugh,
Well,
We do not
Pence
want
could get to appoint
a new vice.
a new vice.
right, but there's no cabinet, so you have to skip all of the cabinet because the cabinet hasn't
Hasn't been.
well, it
not
hasn't been
elected.
ratified by Congress.
Well,
yet.
and even if the cabinet was in session, the Speaker of the House is next in line
Right.
after the Vice President anyway. So, but Pence would get to appoint somebody who then has to be ratified by the Senate, which has 51 Republicans in.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a 2/3 majority.
But that's messy. I mean, that's what they were talking about.
Oh.
I'm like, that would be terrible.
The Supreme Court, so here's the thing. The Supreme Court ruled that state law does apply when you're an election. So now it is a federal law that says your state law.
No, that's how they. Yeah.
I just because technically, if you're not in
Right.
Wisconsin's jurisdiction, Wisconsin nobody gives two shits about Wisconsin law.
Yes.
But the federal court, the Supreme Court, said your state law is binding for the electoral college. That makes that state law also a federal law.
But yeah, that's the point you were making.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just mean, but that's why it is. But there is still a shit ton.
There's a lot of stuff that has to happen yet before.
Go to Wikipedia, please.
The wiki for what?
Faithless electors. You don't have to. There's just a picture there that I want. There's a map of the.
This?
Yeah.
Is this where they don't have to vote the way the...
No, the red ones are the
where
ones
they
where
do
have
to. Yeah, because Wisconsin is on there.
So California's and Florida are the only big ones. Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, I guess.
Well, actually, no. A lot of the swing states are those. Like, Iowa's one of the only ones that isn't a red
Pennsylvania.
one. Oh, sorry, Pennsylvania. Never mind, you're right, Pennsylvania.
New York has a shit ton of delegates.
New
Right,
York
but
was all
outside
Iowa,
of it,
wasn't
when you're looking at the red there, there's only one state that's not representative that even has a significant amount of delegates.
Two. I
Texas.
see right
Well,
now.
Texas, yeah.
Okay, 3. Texas, New York, and Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania has
Yeah.
20.
Texas and New York, but Pennsylvania doesn't have that many.
20.
It has 20.
Yeah.
But, so, I just mean, anything that's not bright red on there, those people can vote however the fuck
switch
they
out
want.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the people voted in their state.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was... Oh,
I wonder how many...
How many votes that is?
Can we split screen and see how many votes that is?
Sure. I'm sure there's a
Caden,
map.
get a calculator.
I'm sure
out.
there's a map that just has
Well, the
electoral votes.
only thing that I see that would fuck
Oh, yeah, I
Charlie
got
up
one
would
right
be
here.
Pennsylvania.
Got it?
I got one right here, so just pull up that other map.
Okay.
Okay, so Kate, add these numbers up.
Well,
Okay, so there's 279.
In the red states.
Okay, then I guess it doesn't matter.
why?
Well, he didn't win California.
No.
Oh,
Well, what are you-
well, because 279 is enough.
And he
to-
didn't
That's
win
enough to
all
win.
of the gray states
Yeah.
either. Almost all of them, but not quite all of them.
If they wanted to,
And
I
those
guess
ones-
California is 55, so
Yeah.
if the electoral college wanted to choose who was president,
They
could.
could. That's what I was
'Cause
mathematically
you just-
figuring out if it mattered.
279. They need 270 for electoral votes.
Yeah,
for
but the thing
presidency.
is
It's
most
not-
of the people
most of
who
the time
are
they're
in
gonna
the
vote.
electoral college
Yes.
are very politically tied.
Yes.
And if
It's
they
not
went against
gonna
their parties,
yes.
they
wouldn't be part of the party
and if they
any
went
longer.
against the state's vote, they'd be done anyway.
Yes.
I can see Pennsylvania doing it though,
Yeah.
and that's what he won with. That was the last state reporting in that gave him his victory.
But just because it was the last state doesn't.
Well, but that's...
I hate that.
Actually,
I
no,
hate
it
those
wasn't
statements.
Pennsylvania, isn't what did it. Michigan was.
Every state he won was the one
Right,
that
right.
did it. I fucking hate that statement.
And actually, if you want to
But
be
Mich-
technical
but
about
Michigan-
it,
Michigan's-
it was when they called Wisconsin officially is when she conceded.
Oh, did she actually give
She
it?
That's
called
when they
it
said
concede.
Podesta's
I-
coming out soon.
Oh, okay. I didn't know she gave a concession speech at all.
She didn't
This-
give her
today
concession
she did.
speech till noon today.
Okay, I
But she
thought
called
so.
him and
Okay.
conceded last night,
Right.
an hour after she sent everybody home.
But that's
Okay.
that's the thing though. Michigan's not red on the map. Pennsylvania is probably one of the only ones that where the people who are the delegates might actually say, "Well, fuck this."
Well, that one, one of them, it was either Pennsylvania or like New Hampshire, was within like 1,000 or 2 votes.
Right. So
Like,
they
it was really
they can
fucking
say, "Well,
close.
the people I know don't want it, so you're not getting mine."
Well, now we're also going to have that wonderful discussion of do we need the electoral college? Because everybody who voted for Hillary is going to say she won the popular vote.
Except
That's
for we've
that's
had
the
that
fifth time
discussion.
this
I
has
know.
happened.
I know it's only the 5th time.
And
I'm
it's
just
the
gonna say
second
gonna
time it's
happen.
happened in my lifetime.
Yeah, it
Right,
happened
because
in
it happened
2000s.
with Bush also.
Yep.
With Bush and Gore.
Then it.
Well, but
it
that was a
happened.
whole. That was the hanging Chad bullshit.
Well,
for
and the
Florida.
reason we have an electoral, we have 2 reasons we have.
Well,
an
because the
electoral
people are too
college.
stupid to actually rule themselves, so we need a check and balance.
No, not
It-
the electoral college had nothing to do with
Right,
that.
the electoral
It was
college
speed.
is it's
Oh,
speed.
okay.
And the second thing is you don't want a very populous state to be able to bully the rest of us.
Well, and that's
because mathematically speaking,
that's why smaller states have more of an impact.
No.
More of an impact on the vote because their electoral vote represents less people. 100,000 people.
Well, because you get 2 for the Senate, but if you've got 3 electoral votes,
well, I mean,
only one of them is based on population. The other 2 are because you get 1 for each representative you have in Congress.
They're guaranteed seats.
Right. So you get 1 for each senator, which are guaranteed 2 electoral votes for each state. And then if you only have 1 representative because your state doesn't have a huge population.
The couple that are 3 in the middle there.
The ones that are referred to as flyover states.
Yes.
Which
that's everything that's not like California, Oregon, Washington, and the East Coast.
And the Rust Belt.
The Rust Belt?
Yeah.
Is that what that's called?
We're part of the Rust Belt. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois.
I have never heard that term before.
You've never heard Rust Belt before?
They're young.
The fuck kind of education did
they
you not
don't
have?
get one anymore.
I never
We're
heard
the Rust Belt.
They do not know how to
Grain Belt.
Yeah.
No,
they don't get
the
taught
Grain
English.
Belt is
That's Oklahoma,
Kansas, Nebraska,
I was taught that goes right up to Wisconsin.
No, we're the Rust Belt. The Great Lakes states are the Rust Belt.
They don't get taught English, history, or geography.
No, I didn't English.
And they have a new math. So I'm just saying.
I didn't get taught core math. Core math is fucking stupid. I saw my brother's homework for that shit. Common Core math is bullshit. Isn't there always a recount if it's within a certain margin anyway?
Well, I'll tell you,
a concession.
I'd rather have him than Hillary in there.
I agree.
For
with
one
that.
reason. Because he can't lie to you. He's not smart enough. He's just going to... He'll say stupid stuff.
He'll say stupid.
And he'll tell you what it is. He doesn't care. Where Hillary...
I was going to say, I don't think it's that
she's just
stupid.
lying all the damn time.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. But I think in the end, the only thing that's safer is gun control. Because
under Trump, yes.
Under Trump,
gun control, I don't think was
gun control was at risk.
No.
And it was at risk not due to Hillary being president. It was due to her being president and picking the next 3 Supreme Court justices. Because if she would have been president, she would have had the free one that's available, and the 2 oldest would have retired.
Except for, and here's my problem, and I hate this Trump will defend the Constitution where Hillary wouldn't argument, because Trump has proposed laws
that he's going to shit all
numerous times that violate more than just the Second Amendment.
Yes.
He's not ever proposed a law yet.
Well, he has said he advocates
He
laws.
has said a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Stop and frisk violates the 4th Amendment all day. No fly, no buy violates 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8.
What's no
2,
fly,
4,
no buy?
5, 6, 7, and 8. That's if you're on the terrorist watch list, you automatically can't buy a gun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is almost impossible to get off of.
And you can
and you
put
don't
on
know
for any
you're
reason.
on it because there's no due process to put you there. There's no means of appeal.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I guess if you pass.
Well, there's a means of appeal. It just takes forever.
But you don't know you're on it unless
it's conflicted with your life.
Right. Until you
try and get on a plane or own a gun.
Until you've already paid for your month vacation.
Well,
in
if
Europe
that's true, then the no-fly list is just as illegal.
It absolutely is just as illegal.
Part of the problem.
It's not, though, because it's in place and it's been supported.
Nobody has challenged it in the Supreme Court because people are dumb. They'll give up liberty for the illusion of security.
Safety.
But if I'm on the no-fly list, I can't take a plane from Wisconsin to Texas.
Yeah.
The federal government, legally, I have a constitutional right to travel.
Interstate travel?
Interstate travel.
Intra, sorry.
No, that's inter.
No, inter. You're right.
But I couldn't even take a plane from Green Bay to Milwaukee. Not that I would, because that's dumb. But I couldn't.
Intrastate, you couldn't either.
And there's no due process to put me on that list. I have no right to face my accusers.
Could you buy your own crop duster?
I don't know.
No,
they
because
you
you
pilot's
can't.
license.
You have to get a pilot's license, and you'd never be able.
So
to
if I owned a crop duster that's seated 2, could you fly on it?
I probably could, and then we'd both go to jail because you were you were flying
You're-
somebody who's
yeah.
a suspected
Yeah, because in
terrorist.
order for
Yeah.
you to fly, you have to create a
File
flight plan.
and with the FCC.
It's not
Or-
the FCC.
Not the FCC, FFA. Sorry.
That's
FAA.
Future Farmers of America.
FAA then.
Yeah, FAA. Federal Aviation
Sorry, I'm stuck in
Administration.
Wisconsin. I'm sorry. The FCC. Yep.
One of the acronyms.
Sorry.
I'm
It
flying
starts with
this
an
plane
F.
with this asshole. Fuck
But I
you.
do. I think Hillary would have been more of a problem.
I don't think so.
I think she would have imposed more regulations out of her business.
Yes, I agree with that.
She would.
I don't know that she would do that either.
Like the whole thing.
I think she was more
Didn't-
beholden to big banks, which is
Yes.
one of the problems I have with her.
Didn't
and
she support the lawsuit suing the people who made AR-15s for the shooting at Sandy Hook or whatever?
Yes.
yes, she did,
That's-
and I think that was horseshit.
And
Exactly.
I think that Rand Paul was going off on her about
And
her.
she
about
was one of the
her,
leaders
her
about-
thing was she wanted to kill coal, so that's what
Yeah.
Rand Paul was going on about. Because you're shitting on my entire state right now by saying that.
Right, because
Yeah.
he's from Kentucky, and that's
That's
all
what they do.
have.
Right. And so many of them have
Well,
been
and
closed to
bourbon.
regulation.
Right, bourbon, whiskey, and coal. That's Kentucky right there.
All right.
They have horse racing.
And fried
Oh,
chicken.
yeah,
And
no,
horse
you're right.
racing
And
and
fried
fried chicken.
They have lots of shit.
I outsourced the colonel.
No, I have to say I was pleasantly surprised
Yeah.
because I didn't think
I
that.
don't care either way, really.
I didn't think he would win. I don't think anybody thought he
I
would.
Well,
didn't think he was
that's
gonna
not true.
win.
See, that's the thing. Okay, so the lesson you should really learn here,
Don't listen to polls.
no,
No.
is that the polls were being run by liberal media.
Well, that's what I mean.
Okay.
They're always going to swing it in their favor. Even
Actually,
if
there
it's-
was one place that predicted him to win the entire time.
It was like
The
Los Angeles
well,
Times.
yeah.
But do you know why? Do you know what the difference was between their poll and everybody else's?
Yeah, they have a more complex.
They use the exact same polling group. They picked what a normal poll does is they sample like 3,000 people. It's what I'm going to use because that's the number the Los Angeles Times actually used.
Okay.
They sample 3,000 people, but they take a different random sampling out of their pool of 3,000 people. The Los Angeles Times, or the one that continually reported he was going to win, they used the same 3,000
same
people every time they polled. So they were the only ones that actually got an accurate gauge of the changing tide. Because as your opinion changed, your
Yeah,
poll
but they
answers
also
changed.
had a better representation of what the people were going to do
Well, right.
based on
because
based on their. I can't remember the term. There's a term that kind of
but the
flattens the.
other people they would have a pool of, let's say, 12,000 people or 120,000
not
people.
enough to make any statistical.
But they
and-
were within a couple percent
Yeah,
of what
but-
really ended up
But
happening. It was
that total pool they use matches the demographics of the country. But when
Okay.
they randomly pull 3,000 people from that, that random sampling might not accurately represent
Right.
the demographics.
Yes.
Whereas when the Los Angeles Times did it, they had a set pool, or it might not have been the Times. I think it was UCLA actually.
That's what I think it
yeah,
was.
it's UCLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I read that article.
but they used the same 3,000 people that had already that matched the demographics of the country as a whole. And so I think that's part of it. The other thing is people underestimated the rural vote. They did. They underestimated how upset people were in rural America because those people they're not the people on the internet bitching because they're out milking cows and plowing a field.
No, right. It's the. I think
They're doing shit
And
'cause they have
aside from what whitewashing or whatever stupid term you're trying to put on it, the majority of the working class Americans who have been shit on for the last 20 years by both parties have basically got up and said we fucking had enough.
Right.
As
And
Michael
they
Moore
pulled a
said,
pin on a
just
grenade
saying,
and
"Fuck
rolled
you."
it across the country.
Well, you
That's
know what? Sometimes it's best just to pull the pin, destroy what you have, and build over
Well, and
instead
that's-
of going on a slow, painful death for
Exit
another
polls,
4
exit
years.
polls said the vast majority of people hated both candidates.
Yeah.
The vast majority of people didn't trust either candidate. They just didn't like what had been happening. They didn't like the status was not quo.
Both parties should have gotten a huge wake-up call.
Yes,
on
they
this.
should have.
And the other reason why I like Trump being the president now,
Yeah.
One is because
Not-
I don't have a choice anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
this whole thing, I won't accept Trump as president, or I'm like, I would have been pissed off if Hillary was president too, but you know what? She would have been fucking president. I mean,
that's
there's
just what it is.
just what it is. I mean, presidents have been elected that I have not voted for.
Right. Sometimes you lose. That's part of a democracy and a democratic republic, in our case.
Yes.
Right.
Sometimes you fucking lose. You don't get your way every time.
So
But I just don't, they judge it a lot based on internet polls and social media and the people who were protesting.
But I don't think Trump, even though he's got control of both houses, or he will, or
No,
he doesn't have all the Republicans on his side. He's
No.
he's actually gonna have to get and
and
do deals with both sides of the fence.
and the
for
other,
the first president and since Reagan that's probably tried to do that.
Yeah.
and the other thing that people keep forgetting that I think is going to be important in the next 4 years, and Richard and I were talking about this beforehand, is, like you said, the Republicans don't have control of everything, because the most important thing they don't have control of is the president, because they flat out opposed him for a large part of the campaign.
Oh, yes, a lot of
Even
them.
the Republican Party, until he was nominated, until he got the nomination, did everything in their power to stop them. And he just flat up said, fuck you, every time. If 10 prominent Republicans got up and said, I don't agree with what Trump said, he just said, fuck him, we don't need him, and moved on. And so he is not beholden to the Republican establishment in a way that any president before has been beholden to.
Actually, he's the first president that's been elected
Despite?
by populist opinion.
No.
No. Really, that's kind of how he...
No.
I mean...
He didn't win the popular vote, so you can't say that.
Well, you don't know he didn't win the popular
Absolutely,
vote.
I do.
No, you don't. The popular vote isn't even done being counted.
As of current numbers that they give to us, yes.
Right, it's not done being counted
No,
yet,
no,
and he
check
was
and see
within
how far off it
couple
is.
100,000.
Yep, it was within 200,000, I think.
All of those numbers are...
Right.
Yeah, bullshit.
No, all I'm saying
I'm
is,
just saying,
I am not-
it's
you
pretty
can't
much
say he was
even.
elected by populist opinion.
No, he was. He was not elected by... Yeah, you can, because I don't think you understand what the term means.
No,
It
no,
doesn't...
I don't
I didn't
think
say
he doesn't-
popular vote, did I?
No,
Okay,
you did.
he was... Right. Hillary was put in place by the corporate and democratic engines.
Right.
Okay, the regimes. Trump is... And you can go back to Bush, or you could even... Reagan, you can go back to almost any president in my lifetime. They've been put in place by the regimes that have been in power. By the people.
Okay.
By them. Okay? Trump is the first
So you're saying
president that's
Trump
been
is
put in
not
place.
Them, though.
So you're saying
he's
he got
not
the
really, though.
nomination without...
He's admitted to buying off all people and shit.
Right, but he's not part of anyone.
Right,
They
I
all
agree.
opposed him everywhere.
The
So the people actually are the ones that said, okay.
the people are the ones who pushed him through to the...
Yeah, that's what I'm
That
saying.
all can see.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying,
he
no,
was
he had-
elected by popular...
No, I
by
didn't say
popular
he's not
opinion, and
elected
that's
by
not true.
but he's the first one that hasn't been
He was nominated by populist opinion. That I'll
yes,
give you.
yes, and apparently enough of them voted in the right
In
places
the right places.
to get him elected. But and I wasn't one of them either. But like I said, I mean, people are like, "Well, you're a Trump supporter." I'm like, no, I'm not. I didn't
not
vote
either
for him.
supporter.
I am not a Trump supporter. But it just so happens that I despise both him and Clinton. I just happen to despise Clinton more because I think she truly is a more evil person than he is. He's more evil on the outside because
She's
just
more
because of who he is, but
because
she's
more
the
lawful.
sneaky,
Yeah.
horrible, freaking evil person that has ruined our country.
She's lawful evil, and he's more chaotic neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. He is all self-centered.
I believe he actually has a soul compared to Clinton. Though. That the way is how it looks funny because like years and years ago, like when he used to
he used to go, like, him and Maury were friends. He'd go on the Maury show, and I remember watching this thing where this girl had a problem, gave her a big fat check right there in the Maury show and stuff like that.
Right, but did he give her the big fat check on the Maury show because he's a good person or because he was on the Maury show? And the reason that I asked that is when his brother Fred died, Fred's kids were fighting over part of Grandpa Trump's estate. One of Fred's sons has some severe challenges, physical, whatever they are, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Trump stopped taking care of him until they dropped the lawsuit for the money.
That's a businessman right there.
Right. So I don't necessarily think that what you're saying had to do with the soul as it was a PR decision.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I'm perfectly fine with somebody who makes the logical decision in that regard.
Yes.
I'm not discrediting the good business decision that was.
Well, and it doesn't change the fact that that lady got a big fat check.
Right.
Just the intentions.
I just think you don't know what you're going to get because if he would have had his his acceptance speech and all the other stuff since Hillary conceded, if he would have been on the same wagon that he would have been before, then I would have been like, okay, strap him up because he and Congress are going to be at war with each other for the next 4 years, and we're not going to get a damn thing done. Okay,
which would have not been a change from the last year and a half.
It would have been actually just more entertaining.
Right.
Okay.
It would have actually raised the ratings on C-SPAN.
Right.
If you could imagine that.
Because you're like, the president is attending the Senate.
And
really, I'm gonna watch this.
As much as I have been hesitant, we all have to admit that at least we're going to tune in for the first State of the Union address
because we want to know what the hell he's going to say.
And it'll be the first one that I've actually fully watched since I was a kid and we had to.
Oh yeah,
because
sat you down in front
you
of
guys
TV.
Don't remember because you're young, but Pete and I remember when the State of the Union was on.
You got off school?
No, there was no TV on.
No TV. All TV channels carried it because there was only 3.
Well, I was going to say
plus PBS, and they carried it with a freaking hand signing person.
Down to the bottom.
Yeah, they were the only one that had the.
You were like, the president's on, motherfucker.
Where's my cartoons?
There's nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
And there was no video games to play. There was no nothing. Go outside and freaking play, but it was dark. So.
Oh, the president's on. He's on every channel.
That's when your parents go, well, you want to play Monopoly? And you're like,
yeah.
Fine.
We might be able to get 2 games in before this huge stuff.
Yep. Nope. Never had that experience.
If you like what you just saw, why not check out our last episode? Or subscribe, or like, or comment. Do something.